To you.
Hello, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I was just really enjoying that story there that was on before.
Ah, poor Seamus, yeah.
I know, but I think you done a really, really good thing.
It's
inspiring.
It's a slice of reality, but he spoke very well indeed. Listen, it's nice to have you on the programme with us this morning, and we know your auntie Pat.
Yes, she lives down there in Dublin.
She used to work here in RTE, and she's great old fun. She's so you're kind of like a fun-sized version of her. As well, you know.
I know, she has a good laugh. The last time I seen her was we were down doing the Late Late Show down there. We had a good laugh down in the dressing room. I'd
say you did. I'd say as only you can. Listen, how would you characterise life at the moment for yourself, Nadine? Is it great crack? Is it boring? Is it intriguing?
It's really good crack. I have to say, there's a lot going on between everything, the bar and the restaurant over in America, and then coming over here to work and releasing the album. But it's all been brilliant. It's just, it's all kind of coming together, and it was brilliant that I got the chance to write the songs and get involved in the production, and now I have to go on and master it finally on Tuesday in New York. So it's one of those. It's all over the place.
So you're literally globe trotting. Tell us about the bar, because you moved with the family. Was it 2006 you decided we're all going over? So who went over with you?
Well, it was me. First of all, I went over to work, and then my mama came over for a holiday. And then a couple of weeks after that, I says, I'm going to bring everybody over. My older sister, her husband, my younger sister. And I kind of tricked them in there. I got this really nice house in Melrose and Martell, and it had a swimming pool, and we rented that for a month, and then everybody just loved it. Then they were like, oh, this is great, this is brilliant. And then we kept coming over and back, from Ireland back over to LA, and then we eventually moved then and opened the bar probably 3 or 4 months after everybody had first been over.
What's it called?
It's called Nadine's Irish Mist.
Nadine's Irish Mist. You could also name your perfume after that if you wanted to later on. Yes. Just in case. Normally most people like in your business tend to release a perfume range at some point, which is kind of bizarre. But the pub is there but do you work behind the bar now? You pulling pints?
No, I wish I could. I did before it opened. Someone said, because we've got really, really good, the Guinness stuff being brought over and all the stuff imported. So someone said, before it's opened, you should go and pull a pint and do it behind the bar. And that was the only time I was in, and I won't go back in there again.
Now, you're a Derry girl, right?
Yes.
So, would you describe yourself as a proud Derry woman?
Yes, I would.
Would you describe yourself as somebody who misses the stone walls and the green grass?
Well, I'm never really away for that long. I was back in Derry last week, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And the weather, it was beautiful. Everybody out barbecuing and, seeing all my friends, and you're all still there in Derry. So I'm never too far gone from it.
So homesickness isn't a major issue then for you?
Well, my mommy and daddy and everybody's all over in America, so when I'm there I get to see them. And then when I'm in London, I usually work and do all the stuff there. And then Ireland, there's a load of family over there too. So kind of either place. I don't really get that homesick for the other one.
See, what you did which was the cleverest thing, if only a lot of people who went away were in a position to do the same, you kidnapped your family and said, well, if I'm going, you're coming.
Well, I know that was it. I couldn't have went without them. If they hadn't went over, then I never would have went over. Because it's all well and good, but you're a million miles away from home and an 8-hour time difference, so they had to be there, or else it wouldn't have happened for me.
Now, can I bring up the subject of your accent? Is that okay?
Yes, work away.
Because you'd have a Derry accent, which is fair enough, but now because you spend so much time in America, you've been musical, so you've adopted the American tones as well. So you've got this extraordinary accent, don't you?
Do you think?
Oh, yes.
You see, I don't know. It depends. I would say no. I would say I have a Derry accent, but you can't talk in your full swing slang, especially if you're doing radio or if you're outside Derry, because then nobody knows what you're saying. So you have to kind of adapt your accent, tone off, curve off your words and stuff.
So are you adapting your accent to talk to me, a fellow Irishman? I mean, are you slowing down so I can understand either the Derry or the American bit?
Well, yes, to slow down the Derry, aye.
Because the Derry it's a great accent, though. I think it's one of the better accents in this country, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I nobody likes the sound of their own voice. I definitely don't. But especially, you know, doing radio when people can't lip read and say what or what. I get some really, really confused faces, you know, when they hear me talking and they're like, well, especially in America or here, and people are like, where are you from?
Well,
and I'm like, well, Derry, and it's kind of, you know, one of a smallish kind of town, so it's not a familiar accent to people.
I was talking to a guy called Graham McDowell, and he's from Portrush, and he's been living in America for quite some time. He won the US Open in golf, and he was on the Late Late Show with me on Friday. And he's got a great accent because he's got a bit of Alabama going on. You know what I mean? But
I like that accent, that real southern kind of twang.
But it's also got Portrush in there too. So he's kind of drafting. He's drafting up there, and then he's back down south, if you know what I mean.
Well, I remember when I first moved to London, I had never been to America before in my life. And first came over, and people used to say, you know, in shops and stuff, and people would say, oh, are you American? And I'd be like, no, this is an Irish accent. And then so I've always had that. Even my family and stuff coming over here, it's always been something that people just thought. And then now that I've actually went to America, now people are just assuming that you pick up the accent.
Yeah, well, it's fair enough. Well, you took the question, which is exactly what we wanted. Nadine, text says, myself and 4 friends were in Nadine's Irish Miss pub during the summer. We met both her parents, and it was like home from home. We had a ball.
Oh, that's brilliant. Love hearing that.
So that's good. What do you order? What should we order if we're going to have a drink at the bar?
You should have, you see, I'm a cocktail kind of girl from time to time if I'm going to go there. So there's loads of specialist cocktails. There's, you know, my mum is called Lillian, so you can get a Lillian lemon drop. Or you can get Nadine's chocolate orange. Or you've got, you know, we've got all the imported beers, like your Guinness and Smithwick's, or they call it Smithwick's.
Smithwick's
if you're
or
over in America.
That'll keep you covered. Now, musically, let's talk a bit about the different things, because remember we saw you here when you kind of nearly the reality TV show, and you nearly made it and then you didn't, and it was probably the best. Was it the best thing that ever happened to you that you didn't get involved in it?
No, definitely not the best thing that ever happened in my life.
But it must have been one of the great sliding door moments in your life, where one of the great what ifs. If you had survived that, you could be possibly working here in God knows what capacity, rather than crossing the water and going on to such great things in the pop world.
Well, I think it was great because it was such a learning experience. It really gave me the opportunity to understand TV and understand how that side of things worked. You know, camera crews and directors and runners and loads of people that done stuff as part of working on TV. I had no idea of any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time it came to doing the thing for Girls Aloud, I kind of knew the scope at least. I had a rough idea what was going on.
And then you went. Now, what's the story with the Girls Aloud situation, Nadine? Are you together, or is it all happening?
Yes, we definitely are, but everybody's just, I think it was this time last year we worked it out, because this will be our 8th year now, and we'd done loads of albums. We had done the Greatest Hits album, we'd done another 2 albums, and then we thought, at some point, let's just take a wee break and everybody do their own things, whatever that may be. And that's the point we're at now. Okay, so
did you ever at one point say, do you know what, this is great, will we go out in the high and call it a day?
No, we didn't. But it was a real high. Our last, the last show that we had done was the Wembley Stadium with Coldplay and Jay-Z. So that was a real high. But it was never it wasn't like, all right, bye, great, thanks for the 8 years, see. It was more like, let's see what everybody wants to do, and then we'll reconvene.
Reconvene like the committee that you are.
Yes, exactly.
And as with any committee or any group situation, there can be tensions. Would you describe yourselves as a great bunch of friends, or would you say we're a bunch of friends who have the typical fallings out and comings and goings as any group of friends?
I would definitely say we were, first of all, work colleagues that then became friends through working together, because we didn't know each other before.
Yeah.
It was an audition process, and that's how we got to know one another. So it was kind of the group that united us all. And that's how it was, and it was it was such hard work for all the years, and we had some great experiences, being able to travel and tour and do so many albums and, you know, really over the top performances. So it was all very, very fun. We had a lot of fun.
Okay, so why does everyone say you're all giving out to each other and you're all having rows all the time?
I don't know.
Does that get on your nerves?
No.